Welcome to the Child Care Genius Podcast, the world's leading authority on child care marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Our host, Brian Dupre, is the world's most sought-after child care coach, having helped tens of thousands of child care owners from around the globe take their business to the next level. Let's welcome to the Child Care Genius Podcast, our host, Brian Dupre.
Hello, welcome to the Child Care Genius Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Dupre, along with co-host Faith Yocum, back for week 3. How you doing, Faith?
Good. How are you?
Good. We're going to talk a little bit today about social media marketing, one of my favorite topics. I'm not a big social media user, but I love how good it is for getting people to fill their schools. Social media marketing is it's kind of a really in the last 10 years has become probably the dominant force for advertising in the United States. But 12 years ago, I didn't even have a Facebook page. Probably you didn't either. And I was one of the later players to the Facebook game, and I kept holding off. And I was like, I don't do that. Now I was in my 40s. People in their 40s don't go on Facebook, do they? But I did. I even have a friend who's in their 50s who does not have a Facebook page. I think he's the only one in the world, but there are probably a couple of them out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk about why somebody needs. So why would somebody need to advertise or even put posts on Facebook, and how often should somebody post on Facebook and Instagram?
Well, the demographic of parents today is younger than those of us in our 40s. And they're, like you said, the dominant way to look things up and to check out businesses is on social media these days. So Facebookers tend to be in their 30s. These are also our parents. Instagrammers tend to be in their 20s. These are also our parents, the parents that we're targeting for enrollment at child care centers. People want to be posting at least 3 to 5 times a week. Not only the organic posts, what's happening in their centers, pictures of the kids, things like that. Those are going to be shown to their existing families, which is great. They want to see that, but that's not helping them expand their business and get new enrollees. That's the other side of it, where we talk about social media management and social media advertising. The great thing is Facebook owns Instagram, so it's very easy to set it up for one and have it post to both. But it's a matter of why you want, those are the reasons for advertising. And then it's a matter of how to effectively advertise on social media.
All right, so when you post to the Facebook page, you can keep in mind that one thing, that it's only going to your organic audience when you do a regular post. And you might post something and it might only be seen by 30 people, if that. Because if you don't pay, you don't play when it comes to Facebook rather. It's going to make sure that it's if the more you pay them, the more people it's going to show it to. So, but if it's really popular, it's going to show it to more people because it keeps people on the platform a little bit longer. So if it gets a lot of likes or reactions, comments, it's going to show it to more people. And if it's kind of dry content with nobody likes it and the first couple of people it shows it to, then nobody else is going to see it. And that's why if you look at your post and see how many people like it, how many people comment, how many people do a reaction to it, that way is determine how many people actually saw the ad. But Facebook has a thing called boosting posts. You can actually boost it and it'll send it to a wider audience and send it to more people. And by boosting it, it's going to show it to your followers, and you can tell it to send it to more people, like your followers, friends as well. Boosting is an okay way. It's a great layman strategy for advertising. We recommend, if you're going to do it yourself, boosting is the way to go. It doesn't reach as quite of an audience, but it's a good way for the person who doesn't know a lot of the technical stuff to do it. You're just not reaching kind of enough audience. You're not getting the best bang for the buck, but it's not bad. So if you're going to do it yourself, do boosting. If you want to use a professional, go with Facebook ads. Facebook ads can't be beaten. They've got a much better track record. It's a better price. and you're going to reach a much better audience, but it does require a little bit more technical work behind the scenes. You got to kind of know what you're doing when it comes to it. But with Facebook ads, we could target a generic info right after the people we're looking for. We could pick an audience, we could make a new audience, we could make what they call lookalike audiences. There's so many different things you could do on the Facebook ad side. It's very complicated, but very awesome. And we have a whole team at Child Care Genius Marketing that knows this strategy, and we know how to work it. I'm telling you, we are experts at it. To be able to manipulate the Facebook algorithm, to get it to show it to the right audience, and once we have that audience dialed in, then we could just target that same audience in there. Keep in mind that when you just go to, when you just do a regular post, it's just going to your people. But if you want to create an ad, you could do an ad for help wanted, looking for staff. You could do an ad for, hey, I've got openings for preschools, I've got opening for toddlers, and go after a certain demographic and get it at a very good price. You think ads much better than boosting, right, Faith?
Oh, absolutely. And if your enrollment is not full, if every spot doesn't have a child enrolled in it, and you don't have a solid wait list. And by solid, I don't mean people you talked to 3 years ago. I mean people you've been in touch with recently that have indicated that they still have a need. Then you need to be doing some type of advertising, and social media advertising is really the way to go. Like you said, boosting is okay. It's better than nothing. Social media ads is definitely the improved way to go, and that is going to get the wider audience in your community to see that your center exists and what you have to offer. And that's not just for enrollees, it's the same thing for staff. If you don't have the staff that you want in your center currently, you want to upgrade them, you need social media advertising for staffing. If you have holes in your staffing, you need social media advertising for staffing. It is one of the most cost effective ways to go as well.
I tell you, the things we've talked about the last couple of weeks, between getting a good website dialed in, doing Google advertising,
Yep.
doing social media marketing. If you have all three of those dialed in, your center will be full. If not now, but within short notice, if you have them all dialed in. And if you don't, you say, well, I don't really want to spend the money. If you think about how much what they call gap you have, how much um, money in your competitors' pockets, we call it, take how many openings you have, multiply it times your annual tuition. That's the gap. That's how much money
Mm-hmm.
that you don't have in your pocket. Your competitors are taking advantage of. That might be hundreds of thousands of dollars. That might be millions of dollars. For you to spend, a certain amount of money on marketing to get full will pay for multiple times back to you. It's one of the best investments you can do. It'll come back.
Yeah, and one of the things to keep in mind if you say like, well, my enrollment is low, I can't afford to do marketing. If you look at it and say, you know what, look at what your average tuition is, say for a toddler. It's probably the cost of half a month toddler tuition. So if you get a part-time child, your marketing is probably paid for, and everything else after that is additional revenue. So that's really the way to look at it. Can you
That's a
afford
great way to look
not
at
to
it.
do it? So once you get that first child, it's probably going to pay for it, and you're going to continue to advertise, and you're going to continue to get more enrollments.
Look at how much tuition you brought in last year. Look at your gross revenue of your company. You need to spend at least 2% on marketing until you're full. That's what I tell people. That's the rule of thumb. If you did $1 million in business last year, you just spend $20,000 a year on marketing. 2% until you're full with a wait list. And if you keep that logic, you will be much better positioned and the money will come in and you'll be a much more profitable childcare center owner. I talk about it in all my books. There is twice as much profit in the last 15 to 20% of children there are in the first 80%. The first 80% yields a certain amount of profitability. That last 15 to 20% yields double the profitability of the first 80%.
Yep.
So it's not a linear profitability, meaning that if you're at 80% full in your center, just spending a certain amount of money on marketing will have a double effect on you that you would have had spending you to get to that 80%. So it's such a more bang for the buck than you would think it is, because if one child is twice as profitable for you above the 80% full than it is below the 80% full. So we
Yeah.
got to go after that profitability.
Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, the first 80% of your center is paying the bills. It's paying the bills, it's paying the insurance, it's paying for your staffing. It's those extra kids that bring you up to full capacity that is where you make your profit. So if you're just cutting it, this is where you need to spend the money on your advertising. And if you can't afford, say you're like, but I'm barely paying my bills because I don't have enrollment where I need it. Okay, maybe you can't afford to jump in with $20,000 a year, but you need to chip in something, like just throw in a little bit, get that advertising up, get your enrollment up, get your advertising up, get your enrollment up, get your advertising up, get your enrollment up, and then you're going to be full. I mean, don't nobody wants to take away from payroll in order to do advertising, but if you're not full, if you're not doing advertising, eventually you will find yourself in a pickle because the kids are going to graduate. You have to have a continuous stream of children behind them.
If you look at advertising as an expense and not an investment, it's always going to seem too expensive.
Yep.
But if you look at it as an investment that returns back to you, then you'll look at it differently. And I always say, let your enrollment pay for your marketing. So you do a little bit of marketing and get that enrollment off of it, which take the money for that and then go more and then keep reinvesting it until you get to that full. Like I said, 2% on marketing is where you need to be. There's not one major company in the United States, any big company that's not spending at least 2% on marketing. Every TV ad you see is a company spending millions on marketing. They need to get money in the door. The good thing about us, we have a thing called MRR, which is monthly recurring revenue. Once they come, they stay with you. Yep. So that's why a lot of people don't advertise because they think, I'm at 80% full. I have 80% of my people show up whether I do nothing or not. And that is a false sense of security. Right. But until you're 100%, you need to be stepping on the gas when it comes to marketing. And most childcare owners do not know anything about marketing. Finances are weak, marketing is weak. So it's like, I'm at 80% full, I'm making a little bit of money. If you're not 100% full, to me, you're losing out and you're missing it. And your competitors who have bigger advertising budgets are going to capitalize on that. And they have money in their pocket that should be in yours. And us at Childcare Genius Marketing, you're going to help that money get in your pocket. So Faith, if somebody wants to get some of that money that their competitors are spending right now, they're probably in a big party, spending your money. They want to get that money in their pocket instead of the competitor down the road. How do they get on your calendar and do that?
Pretty easy. Go to childcaregenius.com, click on marketing services at the top. There's going to be an inquire now button. If you click on that, you can pick a spot right on my calendar. It'll book it automatically based on your availability. And we can do a marketing analysis. There's no charge for that. Take a look at what your needs are. And certainly if you don't need it, we're not going to offer it.
Faith is an expert. She will not sell you anything that you do not need. I can promise you that. It's her instruction. We only work with people who really need it. If you don't need our services, we're not going to recommend them. We're just happy we made a friend. And Faith, I've coached Faith for a long time. She's got a good heart and loves helping people. And be happy to get on her calendar and do that soon. ChildcareGenius.com, marketing services. Click on inquire now. And we're going to conclude this episode. Thank you, Faith, for taking time out of your busy life to join me today. We'll be happy to see everybody next week. We're going to talk a little bit about a thing called the Genius Box. I'll have Faith back for one more episode next week. And we will see you guys on the next edition of the Childcare Genius Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Childcare Genius Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.